Formal charges filed in Sheboygan after weekend police chase. 3 people, including mom, jailed for death of toddler. Evers signs first bill as governor. These and other local stories are coming up on this edition of Community News Review.
This is Community News Review, a service of WSCS TV, news content provided by WHBL.
I'm Maddie Pfister, and this is Community News Review for Wednesday, May 1st, 2019. A Sheboygan man who led police on a wild chase this past weekend is now been formally charged. 25-year-old Joseph Cautious was charged Monday with 3 felonies and 2 misdemeanors after Saturday's high-speed chase on I-43. Cautious is charged with eluding an officer and causing bodily harm or property damage, second-degree recklessly endangering safety, hit and run involving an injury, possession of THC, and resisting or obstructing an officer. He was also cited for reckless driving and endangering safety and his first OWI and possession of open intoxicants in a motor vehicle. The chase started Saturday night near Cedar Grove when a Sheboygan County Sheriff's deputy tried pulling him over for erratic driving. Cautious eventually reached speeds up to 115 miles an hour, and he exited at Highway 42 where his tire went flat and came off. According to police, he continued at speeds of 70 until he ultimately hit a squad car, a tree, and 2 parked cars. He had to be pepper sprayed before being arrested. 3 people in Manitowoc County are jailed for allegedly causing the death of a 2-year-old child, and the child was found dead and severely bruised last Friday after police responded to a call at an apartment in Two Rivers where a child or a toddler was apparently not breathing. Police say that when they arrived, they noticed the cover had severe bruising covering most of its body. The child's mother, Reina Santiago, and her 2 roommates, Bianca Bush and David Hayden, were all questioned and taken into custody after admitting to the abuse. All 3 were in court Monday on requested charges, including physical abuse of a child, recklessly causing bodily harm, and neglecting a child causing bodily harm. No formal charges have yet been filed, and bond was set at $100,000 cash for each. All returned to court on May 6th for a formal initial appearance. Tony Evers signed his first bill into law as Wisconsin's governor. Tuesday morning, Governor Evers held a public bill signing ceremony in the rotunda of the state capitol building, where signed a bill that bars the term mental retardation from the state code and will instead use the phrase intellectual disability. The bill was passed in the legislature with bipartisan support, and there were still some quarrels surrounding the bill between Republicans and Governor Evers. Evers passed an executive order in March that has a similar effect, undercutting the Republican-sponsored bill. Evers and Republicans have agreed on little so far over the past 4 months, and Evers vetoed a tax cut bill, and the legislature has only passed 3 other measures that await action by the governor. A private prison company is rethinking its plans to build an immigrant detention center in Wisconsin after 2 attempts fell through. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports that Virginia-based Immigration Centers of America attempted to build private prisons in both New Richmond and Baldwin. New Richmond city staff recommended against the zoning for a prison, and the Baldwin location was scrapped when infrastructure couldn't be put into place. Protests against both plans were fierce, with both ACLU and Voces de la Frontera calling the practice of jailing asylum seekers inhumane. Some residents expressed concerns that people housed at the facilities would be released into the communities if the sites become overcrowded. ICE, or Immigration and Customs Enforcement, has been looking to increase the capacity to hold more people who cross the border illegally. A record number of border apprehensions were reported in March, and many families with children are given court dates for asylum hearings well into the future and are then released into the United States. The state Supreme Court has ordered a group of Walker appointees to go back to work for state agencies and commissions. In a 4-3 decision on Tuesday, the court's conservative justices said that Dane County judge should have stayed the section of his ruling that allowed Governor Evers to fire those appointees and put his own people before nominations. The ruling impacts 15 appointees who were removed by Governor Tony Evers after the lower court ruled in his favor. Evers had already rehired another 60 of Walker's appointees, and the court did not rule on the underlying cases against the lame duck sessions. Those cases are set for oral arguments in May. And finally, a pilot program is starting this camping season to let campers reserve spaces for the same day. The Wisconsin State Parks and the DNR are launching a pilot program on May 1st to allow for same-day camping reservations. These reservations are only available at 15 state parks for the 2019 camping reservation season. Paul Holton, the communications specialist for the Wisconsin State Parks program, says the goal of the same-day reservation program is to make the most of campground usage in spite of cancellations. We also want to accommodate people that do a lot of last-minute camping. So if you haven't made plans ahead of the day you're looking to go camping, you can check the reservation website and you can find out where there would be a place where you could go to make the reservation that day. And we have actually waived the reservation fee. You just have to pay the camping fee. Holton says many state parks have been at 100% reservations for campsites in recent years, so the pilot program is a way to accommodate those campers who used to be able to find first-come, first-served campsites. And there were a lot of people that used to be accustomed to coming in and looking for a first-come, first-served site. So we don't have those in many places anymore. So this is a way to try to accommodate people that are really just looking for a last-minute campground. 10 of the parks taking part in the pilot program have yellow phones that campers can use to reserve a campsite for the same day. Holton describes that process as the yellow phones. You can pull up to the campground, pick up a yellow phone, and you are connected directly to the reservation system. The 5 parks without yellow phones, Lake Canansa, Council Grounds, Mirror Lake, Devil's Lake, and Peninsula State Parks, have strong cell receptions, so Holton says you can make those reservations at those parks on your cell phone. Same-day camping reservation starts today and are available until the last day of the reserved camping season on November 30th. Holton says the state parks program hopes to expand the pilot program to more campgrounds next season and eventually to the entire state. The state parks currently involved in the program are Amnicon Falls, Bigfoot Beach, Big Bay, Potawatomi, Mill Bluff, Nelson Dewey, New Glarus Woods, Rocky Arbor, Tower Hill, Yellowstone Lake, and previously mentioned Council Grounds, Mirror Lake, Devil's Lake, and Peninsula States Parks. And that is our report for today. We will be off for about a week and returning on May 13th with more local news and information on Community News Review.
News content for this program provided by WHBL in cooperation with WSCS TV.